Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack and NJEX coming at you here for some live tournament action. We've got MLG's Tal'Darim Alter and a nice little matchup here. Vinny and Skynet. Going to be a Terran versus Protoss. I'm actually pretty pumped for this one, NJEX.
Ooh, yes, it's going to be fun. Protoss versus Terran, one of my favorite matchups. Don't ask me why, it just is. I just like seeing pew-pew and lots of laser beams. It's awesome.
That's so true. But it's a wonderful matchup. I love the forcefulness of your Terran players in this one. They really have to kind of power through a lot of ways versus their Protoss players, because once you get a death ball together, it does become a lot more difficult. Especially if your Terran players going for, which is the standard play these days, is a pretty substantial biological army. Lots of Marines, lots of Marauders, and yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to be careful once your Protoss gets on their high DPS units, like those high temps or the Colossus. And I think that's where the crux lies, generally speaking, if we're going to see biological play here. But what do you expect from Vinny? I mean, you've seen this guy play several times, and do you think he's going to go for that standard type of play?
Well, it's difficult to say. This is a fairly large map, so he does have time to really do something a little fancy if he really wants to. This is probably the largest map available in the ladder pool. So there is quite a long distance between the two players, especially since they spawned cross positions. So Vinny can get nice and fancy and maybe do something a little bit more interesting than we normally see him do. So
right.
Hopefully he does, because it's nice to see people do interesting things.
Yeah, it really is. Well, and he is opening with his gas here. He got it down before the 2-minute mark there, or just right around the 2-minute mark, I guess. And he's got his barracks about to complete. It's a fairly standard opener, but we could see him open with Reapers here potentially. Well, I'll take that back. He's a little bit late on his gas for Reapers. So we'll see how he's going to play this, but working on a Marine right off the bat, so I don't know. We'll check that out in just a few moments. But Skynet here opening with his Cyber Core. Very standard play from him. And this is kind of what we expect in our best of ones early in the tournament. This guy's playing it relatively safe. But here comes your scout from Vinny. He is going to see the standard opener here. Checking the gas. This is always what you want to do versus Protoss and Terran when it comes down to it. You really want to see what their gas timings are, if at all possible. And we see Vinny working on his wall off. He does have his Marine out on the field, and more Marines on the way. So this is going to be canceled. Did you see that?
Yes.
And he immediately put down a barracks.
Wow. Also that wall in of Vinny's. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but the probe got right through. There's an opening there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's not a tight wall in. I was half expecting to see him toss down an add-on on this barracks, but he's still working on his... No, he did cancel. Now he's canceled that and back to factory play here. So he's going to go for a 1-1-1 here. It was scouted right off the bat. Skynet saw that. He canceled it immediately, or Vinny did, actually. Don't want to confuse that one, but Vinny cancels it, and as soon as he cleared out that probe, he is back to building a factory and trying to go for this 1-1-1. His second gas is now complete. He's getting it saturated right away. He's a little bit late for Cloak, if he wanted to get Cloak out on the field, but I think that you made the point here, and that is that Vinny made a mistake with his wall in, and that's why he got scouted, and that's going to cost him, it must be 30 seconds on this 1-1-1 build, and that's going to be, I think, a pretty brutal little play here for him.
Timings are everything, and if you don't have the correct timing for your push, your opponent may just have a defense up for it already, because they've already scouted that something is up. Yeah. So now I think Vinny's at a slight disadvantage because Skynet has seen everything involving the gases, and the fact that the wall-in wasn't quite compact was quite a large mistake, actually. Yeah. So,
well, and I think Skynet has been metagaming this too. I mean, he tossed down his Nexus almost immediately when he scouted that 1-1-1. And on your list of counters, taking an expansion is one of your best counters to a 1-1-1 play. So I think that he believes that Vinny is going for a 1-1-1. I thought he was for sure as well, but he's tossed down 2 more barracks. There goes his starport. It looks like he's going to go for drop play here in just the next couple moments, but he's grabbing out tanks as well, so I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to go. I mean, it could be a 1-1-1 all in, but he's way late on his starport if that's the case.
Well, yeah. Well, Vinny did see that the Nexus went down, so now I guess Vinny would start to be would start to figure out a way that, the Nexus went down. That's 400 minerals that he can't spend on units. That means if I do, I don't know, this combination of units, I can just go and take him out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this will be interesting, but Skynet is going to be taking map control at this point. He's got his stalkers cruising around. Looks like they may even poke up to this gateway here for just a few moments, just to see how ViNNY's doing in his army composition. He's got a lot of Marines up at the front. He's keeping his tanks in the back, so he's going to try and hide that tech here, which is a smart play. I mean, you want to keep that hidden for as long as possible. Once your opponent sees that, you can almost immediately bet that they're going to be tossing down a robotics, but Skynet is beating him to the punch there. He's putting down that robotics here right now.
Along with a forge, which will be good for upgrades and maybe also for cannons, because perhaps he suspects banshees. But honestly, at this point, I don't think he really needs to fear the banshees so much as he needs to fear the amount of tanks that might be coming out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that. Absolutely agree, because you know what? ViNNY's way behind on his starport. He is going to grab a Raven. I like this play here, but because of the late timing of this Raven, he got the starport out so late. The Raven's going to pop out with, okay, question for you guys on the live stream. How much energy does the Raven start with? How much energy? If you guys answer that one, we'll get you guys on the list for the drawing. It is going to be tonight, by the way. Our drawings are tonight. But,
where's Goku?
Yeah, where's Goku? But yeah, so I mean, the Raven's not going to have enough for the point defense drone. He's going to have to wait just a few moments before he can toss down a point defense drone, and that's what he needs this Raven for, is the point defense drone. And we do see a Banshee coming out here. Nice to mix him into the army, but here, oh wow, he's pulling everything right now.
There goes all the SCVs along with. And I have to comment on the Raven. I've noticed a lot of more advanced players using the Raven lately for the point defense drone. I honestly, in all my games that I've ever played, I've never seen one made.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's being used more, because for a while it was really a dead unit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. We've got, but this large force here, moving out across the field, he's got so many tanks here. 4 tanks. The one Raven's not going to be a bad deal. He's going to set up shop here. This is good for Skynet because ViNNY really needs to take out this base immediately. What he's going to find is that Skynet is going to utilize this base. He's going to protect this position as long as he possibly can. Notice the great force fields here, holding off this push as long as possible, and then he'll be able to sack this base and then back up. Notice he's putting down these photon cannons. Even if he has to sack these, this is good for him because all he has to do really is hold off this push, and he's going to be ahead in this game, even if he loses this second base. Well, we may see him try and sneak out a probe here and take a hidden base. I would like to see that. It's always a smart play against a big all-in push like this from ViNNY, or any Terran player for that matter. If you can get yourself in position to have a hidden base and then hold this off, you're really set to go.
Immortal misrallied and dead.
That was a big mistake there from Skynet. Can't really afford that one. And
no,
ViNNY
can't really afford to lose an Immortal with a gigantic force sitting outside of your door.
Right. But Skynet here is way ahead in the supply count. He's got a lot of Zealots here, and this is really going to be a credit to his defense. And you can see ViNNY's starting to cruise forward here. He's got all these tanks sieged up in pretty good style. I just don't know if this is going to be enough. Even if he takes out this base, he can't assume that this game is won.
Oh, definitely not. Because there's plenty of tech structures in the back, and there is a nice little force just waiting there, and they know better than to go out when siege tanks are sieged up.
Exactly.
Because the DPS is increased by so much that it's almost suicide to rush a couple of tanks that are sieged.
Yep. Now we're going to see Skynet probably transfer all of his probes here in just a second as this Nexus goes down. Well, maybe not. There, he did select all of them.
There they go.
That's what we like to see. He's going to keep those guys safe. Sack that base just as suspected, but look at the supply counts. This is the telltale story of why taking an early expansion is your best play versus a 1-1-1 type of play. And that's basically what we've got here, even though it was kind of delayed. It was kind of wonky build times there. But ViNNY now sieging up. He's going to try and make his play into the main here. And Skynet, quite frankly, I think has got plenty of forces to defend this.
Well, if Skynet micros correctly, he will absolutely just take out everything with losing very few units.
Right.
But I honestly, he may not even need to micro all that much because he has so much more than Vinny does.
Right.
Except for the bunkers. The bunkers might be the deciding thing here.
Yeah, that's true. If he pushes right into the bunkers without good force fields, he could really find himself in trouble. But, I mean, Vinny, leapfrogging forward with bunkers, and quite frankly, as soon as he makes it past this choke, Vinny's going to find himself having trouble continuing to push forward here because Skynet is going to be able to have a great surround on these units. And, I mean, this bunker here I don't think is going to happen. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, you can see him taking out those SCVs one or two at a time. Vinny is way behind in the supply count and the economy when it comes down to it. This one base play is going to be difficult. Now, the scary thing here for Skynet is that he is going to mine out his main here fairly quick, but he's got so many Immortals out on the field, I just don't think that Vinny is going to be able to make this happen.
Oh, man, and there's a Warp Prism out, too.
Oh, flank. Time for the flank.
Boy. Oh, boy. This is exciting.
Tanks in the mix here. I mean, this is good positioning for Vinny, but he can't push through here. He just doesn't have enough units to push through.
No.
And this is big for Skynet. He's got a couple probes out on the field, and here comes his Warp Prism. He's going to start attacking his opponent's main here. That's going to be too much for Vinny to deal with.
Yeah, unfortunately, whereas it looks really scary right now, and it looks like Vinny has the advantage, he really doesn't. There's a Warp Prism on the way to his main, and Vinny is mining, but definitely hasn't mined as much as Skynet has. And in comes the Warp Prism with a ton of Zealots that are just going to go to town on all these tech structures.
Yep.
Or the mineral line, one of the two.
And this does force Vinny to go for his push. Look at the force fields there, forcing the engage on these units. That was beautiful play here for Skynet.
Wow.
Vinny has just lost this game, in my professional opinion.
Which is very professional.
Oh, yeah, that was so professional. Yeah, good guess, right? But nicely done. Yeah, good collapse there. Skynet absolutely deserved that win. I think that his expansion won him the game there. Vinny with a scary push, but was unable to make it happen. Nicely played, however. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for NJX for always coming out and casting. This has been so much fun so far. We'll be going into another game here in just a moment. We will catch you guys then.